What is going on, everyone? It is DylanLasagna here, and I don't know. I had plans to start at a much earlier time than what I was supposed to, but apparently, I was apparently thrown into some very last minute plans that happens. Shit happens, But anyway, we are here. Just 30 minutes away from the WWE Draft. That's happening at 5 o'clock. If you're here on the West Coast like I am, it's actually happening at 8. But I have my ways of watching the WWE Draft. But nonetheless, in just about over half an hour is the WWE Draft. So in today's stream, we'll be going over the my personal mock draft, my final mock draft picks, my last minute picks for the WWE Draft. So if you're not already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and make sure you tap the notification bell because it helps me. It personally helps me keep my channel alive, and of course, if you want to, I have a Twitter down on the bottom right. You can follow me there if you want to. And if you missed last Wednesday's episode, this past Wednesday's episode of DylanLasagna Live, where we covered a bunch of gaming topics, it's on the channel on demand right now. So it's on the channel. But today we're gonna talk about wrestling again. The WWE Draft in about 30 minutes away. But we're going to talk about that last because, it's last minute draft predictions. So I want to first talk about this thing going on in Florida because Florida is such a hotbed when it comes to COVID-19. They've had a lot of positive cases and a lot of deaths when it comes to COVID-19. When I'm checking cases and deaths, Florida has had 2,000 as of this writing, as of right now, as I'm looking at it, Florida has had 728,921 cases and 15,187 deaths. And when we compare that to here in California, California has had, let's see, California, 847, is that right now? So 848 in 418 COVID cases and 16,000. So we're a slight bit more terrible than Florida. But so California and Florida are a bit in a shithole, but we're still taking it very slow when it comes to reopening. So why do I mention Florida and California? Well, it's about wrestling. It's about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis deciding to reopen sporting events to the fullest capacity possible. I'm not joking you. So it was reported on Wednesday from John Alba, Cage Side Seats, Wrestle Votes, a variety of of credible news wrestling sites, and from DeSantis himself. So it was first reported that Governor Ron DeSantis' office, he put up an order that allows full capacity stadiums, and he told the Miami Dolphins to go full clearance of 65,000 fans at their stadium, Hard Rock Stadium, and the team, the Miami Dolphins, smartly plans to keep their 13,000 fan limit. not just for their next home game on October 25th, but for the rest of the season. And then DeSantis, a representative from Ron DeSantis' office, followed up with it was Andy Slater, a sports talk host in South Florida. He said that DeSantis wanted to make it clear that after he dropped recent COVID-19 restrictions, all Florida stadiums were able to go full capacity. So what does this have to do with wrestling? So, as you guys know, I talked about WWE trying to get a full stadium for next year's WrestleMania, because with WrestleMania 36 being done in the Performance Center, Vince doesn't want to go through that again. And there have been plenty of factors as to indicating that WrestleMania 37 may not take place in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, as it was supposed to. Like the concerts, Grupo Firme and the Staples Center, where SmackDown and TakeOver were supposed to be, and how the Sunday Night Football crew practically ignored the WrestleMania, which was technically the first non-NFL event to take place. And that was like practically shadowed by the NBC crew. So now we have 5 months, and WWE hasn't said anything regarding the plans for next year's WrestleMania. So again, that leaves the question, what's the plan? What is WWE going to do here? Well, a reporter, Spectrum sports reporter in Orlando, John Alba, he confirmed what Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said. And it says here on Cage Side Seats that the statement Alba received specified sports franchises, saying teams can do as they please. They don't need clearance from the state, but you're questioning whether pro wrestling counts as a sports franchise. Florida deemed pro wrestling as an essential business. So pretty much what we're pointing to here is that unless things change, unless there's a large outbreak, Ron DeSantis is going to see a full capacity Super Bowl, not just a Super Bowl, but also a full capacity WrestleMania. So we're probably going to see a full capacity Raymond James Stadium for Super Bowl 55 in February. And then Vince is probably ecstatic right now that he's going to get fans at WrestleMania. I don't know how many to be exact, because one, there's probably going to be the fans that are going to be elated for joy that they finally get to attend a WrestleMania. But at the same time, are you willing to risk going out to Florida and trying to get COVID? And who knows, are they gonna enforce mask wearing? Because if they do, by then, I hope they do, then we'll see. So I don't like the decision. I really don't. But at the same time, at some point, it's someone's got to do it. Maybe a hard limit of 30 to 40,000 fans at least. But we've already seen the Dallas Cowboys have 20,000, a greatly reduced capacity of 20,000 fans for their games. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's going to be an interesting watch to see what they do. Plus, it's not confirmed. The thing with Ron DeSantis confirming that sports teams in Florida can have full capacity, but it's not an official thing that WWE is able to have its makeup WrestleMania in Tampa yet, but in all likelihood it will. And whether even though Vince says, "Oh, fans can attend. Here are some tickets," it depends if fans are willing to go and attend WrestleMania. Even if they are wearing masks, social distancing, and it's going to be an interesting situation. We've already had whether or not you're a fan, sitting in the stands, you got to understand there's been an outbreak in the NFL with COVID-19. So it's gonna be a crazy situation when it comes to when it comes to WrestleMania. So we shall see where this goes. Skull Collector Halloween Superior, what's up? That's a very long name. Very long name. Right there. So if WrestleMania does come to Florida, come to Tampa, I do believe they should get their makeup WrestleMania, and then LA, hopefully they get Mania 22, because 5 months may seem like a long time, but trust me, it goes by very quick. I do hope that Los Angeles gets the following WrestleMania in 2022, because it would just be unfair if they didn't, Plus, 5 months, it may seem a long time, but trust me, it's not. It goes by pretty quick. And again, it's Gavin Newsom's taking this very, very, reopening very, very slow, much slower than before. So we'll see. We shall see. But if you do plan, if WrestleMania in Tampa is officially confirmed, I would say probably in the next couple of weeks. Just wear your mask. That's all I can say. Wear your mask. Don't be an anti-mask person like this lame D from New York person. It's this is fantastic news. This is fantastic news. Yay, fans can finally attend WrestleMania without a mask. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. It's we're all in this together, guys. We're all in this together. Mask. Wear your mask. Social distance. I know it sucks. I know the media can be an asshat sometimes, but just do it so we can finally get out of this pandemic. All right. So now let's talk about Mustafa Ali. This jobber. But interestingly, on Monday Night Raw, this past Monday, he actually had a match for the first time in ages. He's been on main events. Who watches main event? I also see him on Twitter complaining oh, I'm I'm on main event. Whoopee. So Mustafa Ali has a match on Raw, and he faces Bobby Lashley, and then all of a sudden Retribution comes out, and at first Ali looks like he's gonna help the Hurt Business. So he's surrounded in the ring with side to side with the Hurt Business, and the Retribution surrounds the ring, and then Ali decides, you know what, I want to go face to face with the Hurt Business myself, and it's oh man, I'm so tough. I'm the arc reactor Iron Man guy. And then he turns around, and then he orders Retribution to attack. He orders them to attack the Hurt Business, and lo and behold, it is revealed Ali is the leader of Retribution. And I wasn't really shocked, because Retribution or should I say Retribution, this storyline like doesn't really make any sense, like, for the most part. But the inclusion of Ali does, like, even if it won't end up getting anywhere. I say having Ali in Retribution makes sense because, well, he's had that hacker storyline. I mean, come on, it's pretty obvious that Ali is the hacker because he had the wallpaper with the Iron Man arc reactor. And, well, it kind of connects back to Retribution when he wears the hood. So, Ollie's the mastermind behind all the lights flickering on and off, and like Hatchling Sasher style. And then Ollie had all these multiple opportunities to be a WWE champion or be in WWE championship matches, but it was taken away from him, especially in 2019, the Elimination Chamber match. But like the Elimination Chamber match, which propelled Kofi Kingston into his WrestleMania moment, and Ollie was super jealous of that. Like eventually, and he had these start and stop pushes like out of nowhere, like throughout the last year. I mean, is it deserved? I don't know, because I don't really see much in Ali, but nonetheless, going forward, I mean, yeah, like short term, it's like, oh shit, Ali's the leader of Retribution, but going forward, I still don't really give a shit about Retribution. It still goes back to the question, why should I care about this group? Like, from day one, they threw Molotovs at some random object and like this random thing, and then they threw a cinder block at the glass window of the WWE Performance Center, and then they destroyed the set of SmackDown like literally a week or two before they moved to the Thunderdome. It was like, from the start, Retribution had no purpose. It was like, people, both casual and these smarks in the wrestling community, don't give a shit about this group. So, we really think that Ali will make people to start caring for this group? Not really. Like, how are we supposed to care from not a matchmaking standpoint, but from a character, storyline, and like literally everything but a match perspective? I don't know, but so far, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on Retribution at all. But I mean, cool reveal. I mean, it all makes sense storyline wise. Like, Ali, leader of Retribution, like he's the hacker. From when did it start? In March, but in the end, they're like the whole Retribution angle is a jobber stable at the end of the day. And by the way, they lost Mercedes Martinez. Like, Retribution literally lost Mercedes Martinez. So, like, I guess she's going back to NXT. I don't know what the hell she's going to do. But I guess that sucks for Retribution. But whatever. So, tonight on the WWE Draft episode of SmackDown, we have a couple of, like, high-profile matches. Actually, just two, just two high-profile matches. We have Kevin Owens versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Last week on SmackDown, Kevin Owens was attacked by The Fiend during the KO show, which pretty much confirmed the Alexa Bliss and Fiend partnership, or, like, angle. And then tonight, we have, for some reason, Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Like, why? What are we doing here? So, last week, Sasha Banks cuts a promo. She's still in her neck brace, by the way. This is like, I think a couple days after Clash of Champions. She calls out Bayley, and I'm not buying into this promo, by the way. And she calls her a bitch and all that. And she wants to rip away the SmackDown Women's title from her. And then she takes off the neck brace, and I guess she's 100% now. And then she challenges for the SmackDown Women's title next week, but now that next week is tonight. So I literally don't understand this. I really don't know why. If you guys watched my podcast last week, I wanted their first. I obviously wanted their first match to be at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, but not in the Cell, because I thought it was too soon. Save the Cell for WrestleMania, especially now that Florida is somehow allowed to have fans. They're allowed to have fans in attendance, like a full capacity stadium, and Vince is elated to have that. Why not build towards using Sasha versus Bayley inside the Cell? But I guess WWE Creative, and Vince, sees that, oh man, we're going to lose to LeBron and the Lakers, who are most likely going to clinch the NBA title in front of nobody in Game 5 tonight. Oh man, we're going to lose to the ALDS between the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays in front of nobody. But even though there's no fans, it's behind closed doors. Both the LeBron Lakers and the ALDS are still going to get tens of millions of viewers over SmackDown, who only gets 2 million viewers. So I guess Sasha versus Bayley was somehow desperately needed to be put on tonight in their first actual match in this reignited feud. I literally don't get it. What's the plan here? What is the actual plan here? Are they going to have this match end in a DQ, or in a dirty finish where Bayley does a fruit roll up on Sasha and with the tights, and Sasha right after the match, Stephanie McMahon comes out and it's time to reveal the next pick in the WWE Draft, and then moments later it's Sasha Banks. I really don't get it. I just don't get it. And then Bayley is all ecstatic, and Sasha's like, God damn it. God damn it. And then, I don't know. I just don't know. I guess we'll find out tonight. But the promo by Sasha, it just did not help. It just did not help at all. Because it's why did she sound so Charlotte-like? Why did she sound so robotic? It's not the sadistic anger you see in the new heel, or sorry, as hero Roman Reigns. But it sounded more I'm gonna take your SmackDown Women's Championship next week on SmackDown. It's what are you doing? It's I'm starting to realize, I'm starting to get a little weary that Sasha and Bayley can't prolong this feud all the way to WrestleMania with that kind of promo work. With the storytelling, maybe they had me up until Clash of Champions. I don't know why they had Sasha attack Bayley at Night of Champions that soon. And I don't know why they had Sasha take off the neck brace, and I don't know why they're having Sasha fight Bayley tonight. It's dumb. It's stupid. it's like WWE again rushing the fan, like rushing it out because, well, we need ratings, pal. It's like, oh, LeBron's going on tonight. Well, here's Sasha and Bayley. Yeah. Oh my god, man. Oh my god. I don't know, man. I really don't. So maybe this feud doesn't get prolonged all the way to WrestleMania, because honestly, with the promo work from Sasha last week, it was terrible. But I mean, one bad promo doesn't define this feud. But if they keep that up, then yeah, I don't see it lasting very long till WrestleMania. But tonight, I could probably see a screwy finish. I hope they don't fight in the cell, because you're just rushing. You're just having a cell match just for the sake of having a cell match. That would be really something else, man. Plus, it's like you already have Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso inside the cell. I think it's inside the cell, but if it is inside the cell, that's a match that's deserving of the cell stipulation, even if they kind of devalued the cell. But nonetheless, I guess it's a feud that we're already in the cell. You also got McIntyre versus Randy Orton. I just don't know why they're using the cell at that point, but whatever. But again, have another stipulation between Sasha and Bayley. Like, if you really want to have Sasha stay on Raw, have her drafted, but you know what? Give her one more match against Bayley. And then, like, if Sasha wins, yeah, she goes back to SmackDown with the title. But have her fight in a I Quit match. But I guess since she's medically cleared now, or not, I'd still go for the unsanctioned match. Like, Bayley can beat her down to a pulp until the referee calls for a TKO. But I don't know. It's just so bizarre why it's happening tonight. I'm just flabbergasted. I'm still flabbergasted. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. I just don't expect the title change, but you know what? Anything can happen with the ratings at an all-time low. So I want to close off tonight. I know I'm kind of rushed, chucking it through this episode. I don't really like chucking it through. I was supposed to start earlier, but I do apologize. But the WWE Draft starts in 10 minutes. The WWE Draft starts in about 10 minutes. And the rules came out yesterday. Last week, I want to talk about last week first before I get into the rules. Last week, let me get my last week's picks. Last week's mock pick. Oh, no, not that one. Okay, here we go. So last week, I had a lot of okay picks for tonight's draft. Actually, this was for the overall draft. It was kind of a very small list because, one, didn't really have a lot of interest for any of the other picks, and two, well, there were a couple of people that were kind of ineligible, at least for me. So again, my mock draft from last week was going to Raw with Sasha, and then Chelsea Green from NXT, The New Day, Daniel Bryan, Bray Wyatt, Chad Gable, Jeff Hardy in the SmackDown, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Bianca Belair, Billie Kay, Seth Rollins, Shotzi Blackheart, and Ricochet. And then on the ineligibles, the ones that I don't like, that shouldn't be drafted, that aren't going to get drafted because for reasons. Asuka, because she's the Raw Women's Champion. Bayley, because she's the SmackDown Women's Champion. Becky Lynch, because, well, she's going to be a mom in about 2 or 3 months. Charlotte, because she's out with whatever procedure. I had Ember Moon until, well, she returned to NXT on Wednesday in that takeover on Sunday night. So clearly, some or most of my picks have changed because the rules of the WWE Draft have come out now. And so here are the rules of the WWE Draft. So the quick rundown is that over 60 male, female, and tag teams have been placed in the WWE Draft. More than 20 wrestlers are eligible to be drafted on Friday, and more than 30 are eligible for Monday. Due to the length of each show, because SmackDown is a 2-hour show, SmackDown every 2 picks that SmackDown selects, Raw will get 3. Still kind of weird logic there, but it is what it is. Tag teams count as 1 pick unless Fox or USA, in conjunction with WWE officials, want 1 superstar from each team. And any undrafted superstars will immediately be declared free agents and able to sign with the brand they're choosing. I guess I can screen share with you guys the official list of wrestlers eligible for tonight's WWE Draft. Let me go to my alt screen here. So here's the list of wrestlers that are going to be draft eligible for tonight's WWE Draft. I'm not going to read the names because, well, it's on the screen already. That's for tonight in just about 8 minutes. And here's the list for Monday's Raw. Now, surprisingly, Charlotte is on this list, even though she's injured. And then the Viking Raider, only Eric of the Viking Raiders is listed on here. And you don't have anyone from, like, NXT on this list. And then a couple of other, like, tag teams, like women's tag teams especially, are listed separately. But for the sake of my mock draft, my final mock draft, I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to keep a couple of my NXT picks in here because, like, I do think that at least 1 or 2 are going to people from NXT are going to call up to the main roster because, well, you know, WWE management, WWE creative would probably want to call them up anyway. So whether or not NXT is ineligible, I still think that WWE is going to call some people up to the main roster from NXT. So that said, I have made some adjustments. I have based my final mock draft / WWE draft predictions based on each night. So night 1, which is in about 5 minutes, going to Monday Night Raw on the men's side, I have AJ Styles, the New Day. I know there's been some rumors going around that WWE's planning to split up the New Day. Like, I mean, not like, oh, we're gonna completely break up the New Day, but have Big E go to Raw and Kofi Kingston stays on SmackDown, and Xavier Woods is like the middleman. That's like he gets the free brand to brand / wild card / 2011 rule. So he gets like the manager's exception. So I do think, however, that they're gonna move the New Day to Raw, to hopefully bolster the Raw tag team division, because the straight trash needs new competition. And then I have Jobber G, Chad Gable, going to Raw. Not my Buddy Murphy staying on Raw. Angel Garza staying on Raw, and Rey and Dominic Mysterio staying on Raw. As for the women's side, I have Sasha Banks, again, going to Raw. Again, that will play a role tonight on SmackDown. I still believe that an NXT call-up will be in the WWE Draft, and that will be Chelsea Green. Mickey, and then we also have Mickey James staying. Dana Brooke is going to stay. Naomi is going to go to Raw, and Nia Jax is going to be on Raw without Shayna Baszler. We'll get into that in a moment. Like, even though Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are women's tag team champions, I feel like they're going to be split up. So, that being said, on SmackDown side, for the men, we got Seth Rollins, and then Ricochet. Heavy Machinery stays together. Jey Uso. I don't know why Jimmy is not listed on here, but he's probably injured. That's why. But nonetheless, he's staying on SmackDown. The Usos are staying on SmackDown, and I guess you have Lucha House Party on here too. And then for the women, Bianca Belair, Shotzi Blackheart from NXT is gonna get called up to the main roster because pretty much she's not doing anything down in NXT. So why not call her up? Mandy Rose, it goes back to SmackDown. Reunite her with Otis. Shayna Baszler goes to SmackDown, and then that's my night 1 predictions right there. So night 2 on Monday. So on the men's side, I have the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and here's the interesting thing. I have Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. They're gonna be a 2-in-1 package pick. They're gonna be number 1 overall, and they're gonna be drafted together because, come on, they should why are they gonna break this up already? Why are they gonna scrap this together already? So I feel like if Bray Wyatt gets drafted, then Alexa Bliss is gonna be drafted with him at the same time. So both of them are gonna go number 1 overall, and then continuing with the men's side, Aleister Black, and then Daniel Bryan, because I feel like Daniel Bryan, I don't know where the heck he's been. I think he needs a new change of pace. And then Jeff Hardy, he also needs a new change of scenery. Braun Strowman, because you already seen him on Raw, on Raw Underground, and he's been appearing on Raw lately. Baron Corbin, get his ass away from SmackDown. Get his ass away from Matt Riddle. Speaking of Matt Riddle, I think he's gonna stay on SmackDown. We'll get into that soon. John Morrison, he splits up from The Miz, and I think hopefully with this split, he becomes a decent mid-carder, a potential challenger for the Intercontinental, not the Intercontinental, the United States Championship. Then you got Dolph Ziggler staying on Raw, and I'll explain what happens to Robert Roode in a second. And R-Truth stays on Raw. Then on the women's side, obviously I said Alexa Bliss goes to Raw with Bray Wyatt. Lacey Evans goes back to Raw. Peyton Royce stays on Raw. I'll explain what happens to Billie Kay. Natalya and Lana are staying together. I guess they can be the one women's tag team that stays on the show. And then Zelina Vega stays on Raw with did I have Angel Garza on at some point? Oh yeah, on night 1. I guess Zelina Vega can be the new manager for Angel Garza, because on SmackDown on night 2, Andrade is gonna get drafted to SmackDown. So to complete the split between him, Andrade, and Zelina Vega. So Zelina Vega is going to have to choose one, either Andrade or Angel Garza. And then Zelina Vega chooses Angel Garza. So then you also got Apollo Crews going to SmackDown. Get his ass away from the Hurt Business, please, WWE Creative. Keith Lee also needs a change of scenery on SmackDown.
hopefully they can build him up away from Raw. Kevin Owens also going to SmackDown. Miz staying on SmackDown. Bolster the mid-card scene. Robert Roode can also go to SmackDown. Again, splitting up the Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode connection. Matt Riddle stays on SmackDown. He keep him with Keith Lee, the NXT mainstays, and Sheamus stays on SmackDown. As for the women, again, if you really want Peyton Royce and Billie Kay to not have this tag team anymore, like to officially not be this tag team anymore, then send Billie Kay to SmackDown. Like, please, have some logic here. Then Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott are going to be the ones that go to SmackDown. Like, they'll be staying as a tag team. Carmella, she stays on SmackDown because they're still doing that new gimmick with her. And Nikki Cross stays on SmackDown, so she stays as far away from Alexa Bliss as possible. And then the undrafted free agency. Brock Lesnar, well, he's no longer with WWE, but just because he's not with WWE doesn't mean, he's not gonna get. He is gonna get drafted, but nonetheless, don't expect Brock Lesnar in this WWE draft at all. And then Charlotte, I feel like she's not gonna show up in any form unless something miraculous happens. Because we don't know when exactly she's going to return. That's the thing. It's like, why waste a draft pick? Why should WWE Creative waste a draft pick on Charlotte when they don't even know when she's going to come back? But I don't know. It hasn't even been rumored when she's going to come back. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Elias, we haven't seen him ever since after WrestleMania. So we don't know what's going on with him. He's going to be undrafted too. Humberto is also going to get undrafted. Why would Fox or USA or WWE Creative want to waste a draft pick on Humberto? The Raw Underground jobbers are also going to go undrafted. Titus Catering is also going to have his ass undrafted. Tamina also undrafted. Akira Tozawa and his ninjas are going to be undrafted as well. Again, these wrestlers, with the exception of Charlotte and Brock Lesnar and Elias, there are reasons why they're going to go undrafted. Hopefully, Creative is not stupid enough tonight, actually right now because the draft is actually happening, to waste picks like they did last year on jobbers, on the legit jobbers in the very late rounds of this WWE draft. Also, Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders. I mean, again, why waste a pick on wrestlers that are injured? And then last but not least, Cringy Lynch. Becky Lynch is she's ineligible because, again, she's going to be a mom in 2 or 3 months, so congrats to her, I guess. So, and then last but not least, there was a couple of wrestlers I didn't mention on here because I put them in their own category. And this category is called the most obvious ones that need to stay put. These are the wrestlers / tag team / whatever that need to stay need to stay on the brand that they currently are. And let me start with the 2 world champions, Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, again, it's not his fault that the ratings are down, but he is doing all he can. He's doing really good work as the WWE champion on Raw, despite the ratings tanking. He's one of 2 things actually making Raw bearable to watch. And Roman Reigns, on the other hand, makes the show a good flow on Friday nights, making SmackDown a good show to watch like fully. So I don't know why WWE would stupid to like move Roman or have Roman and Drew swap them together, swap brands, especially in feuds that are about to end in like a couple weeks, and it doesn't make any sense. Asuka and Bayley, again, they're like brand exclusive champions. One's a Raw Women's champion that needs contenders, and Bayley's the SmackDown Women's champion that probably wants her biggest rival in Sasha drafted away from her show. But at the end of the day, it's like, why are WWE making them draft eligible in the first place when they're still holding the Raw and SmackDown Women's championships? Championships that have Raw and SmackDown in them. That should make them ineligible in the first place. Speaking of ineligible, the tag team champions, the Street Trash, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford and Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Why are they draft eligible as well? Unless the plan is to, let's just vacate all the brand exclusive championships and merge them into one. It doesn't make sense. A couple more here. The Hurt Business, Retribution, and Sami Zayn. I don't know, like for some reason I put them all together here. With Retribution, I guess WWE Creative is trying to salvage whatever they can with Retribution and Ali. And with the Hurt Business, they're still in this feud. That's starting to pick up, I guess. That's starting to try to get whatever interest that's left between the Hurt Business and Retribution. The Retribution being led by Ali. So I don't know. I would say keep the Hurt Business and Retribution on Raw, because it's like it would make no sense to have one or the other move to a different brand when they're still feuding with each other. And I mentioned, the Hurt Business also has positioned the U.S. title. So even though they could swap with Sami Zayn, who is also on a roll as the IC champion, it doesn't make sense to do so. And then last but not least, Randy Orton. It's like Randy Orton's he has simmered, he has cooled down significantly, but Raw needs a top heel. It still needs a top heel, and outside of Randy Orton, it doesn't really have a top heel. So Randy Orton's the last saving grace for Raw. And then for both Raw and SmackDown, can we get an actual creative team? Bruce Pritchard, I don't know what the hell you're doing with Raw, but you're leading SmackDown, and for some reason that's bearable to watch. Now, can you do something with Raw and have find competent writers that Vince will end up tearing the script each and every Monday? Because SmackDown somehow seems fine. It's not the talent, it's the writing. But I don't know. I really don't know what the hell is going on with Raw. So, both Raw and SmackDown, get creative writers, draft actual writers that can tell good stories that Vince won't somehow tear up. I don't know. I really don't know what. It's first. At the end of the day, it's good that they're doing this draft. But I really just don't want them to let's do another wild card rule in a month, because it just completely erase the ramifications of tonight. So that's my mock draft of the 2020 WWE Draft. The number one overall pick probably got announced by now, but it is what it is. So my mock draft is probably useless by now. But that is my final WWE mock draft for the 2020 WWE Draft. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of the topics that I discussed. I know it seemed kind of rushed, but again, something a lot of last minute Things got shoved in my face, as it always does, that I have no control of whatsoever. But at the end of the day, shit happens. Shit happens. But anyway, thank you guys for watching tonight's episode of Dylan Lasagna Live. I'm going to go catch the WWE Draft because it's like 10 minutes in, and yeah, I need to watch that shit. No watch along because it's going to get blocked anyways. It's going to get blocked anyways like it always does. But I'll probably talk about it like on next week's show. But it depends if there's anything interesting that comes out of it. But anyway, everyone, if you missed last week's episode, not last week's episode. Actually, if you did miss last week's episode, it's on demand. And if you also missed Wednesday's episode of Dylan Lasagna Live, go check that out. It's on demand as well. We talked about Smash, Minecraft Steven Smash, Travis Touchdown getting me costumed, Dreamcast guys like Crash sold poorly video, and Activision's leaked 5-year plan for Crash Bandicoot. So make sure you check out that episode from this past Wednesday. And if you're watching this on demand right now, thank you for watching. It means the world to me. But anyway, everyone, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And as always be delicious. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone. And happy draft day. Happy draft day.